Ready to go, hot chat?
Mm-hmm.
Jen and I are moving a little slow today. Got a little bit done this morning already. You're moving slow too. You took a nap yesterday. Jenny never takes naps. She took a nap.
It's because I kicked my butt over the weekend, so.
Yeah, we've both been, this type of weather and this lifestyle puts a little hurting on you once in a while, so you got to take a day off once in a while. So anyway, we're going to head out, guys. We have a couple little projects in the bunker we have to wrap up, and we got some stuff to do outside, so hope you guys want to hang out with us and see what we get done today. Let's not talk about it. Let's just do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. Act like I'm not here.
Uh-huh.
Just keep going about your business. All right. I'll take the puppies out. You'll catch up in a minute.
Yeah. They're eager to get outside.
Today we got to work on the bunker a little bit. We have some extended nights and days that are going to be in the teens and single digits. So far, the bunker has done fine, but the ground is going to start freezing here pretty good. And I'm not sure how it's going to do temperature-wise. So it's been pretty steady at like 39 to 50 or 39 to 42 degrees in the bunker. So I'm not that worried about it, but we have to have a backup plan in case we get desperate for a little bit of heat in there. So I want to hook up the diesel heater at some point, but today we're going to try to capitalize on being able to use the mini cabin system. The mini cabin system has just been sitting totally idle pretty much for 2 months. We haven't really used the mini cabin since it snowed and since we had guests during the fall colors. So what I want to do, since that tracker produces power every day, I want to put like a 100-watt light bulb somewhere near the batteries and just kind of generate a little bit of heat. All right, guys, so mini 2-second update on the solar. It's been running pretty much as is with all our batteries set up for a week and a half. We haven't had any sun per se, so we're just running off of stored power. I ran the generator for like a day and a half 2 weeks ago, and then I ran it last night for 1 tank of gas. It runs like 8 to 10 hours, and it pumps 2,700 watts into all these batteries that I have on. I have turned on pretty much every battery other than the 3 Vaders still that were acting up before. I just haven't had time to mess with them and try to integrate them into the system. So anyway, what I'd like to do today, our Bluetti system is not hooked up to solar anymore, so I cannot leave this running full time and use it and not have some source of solar going into it. So the whole point of these multiple systems, all 3 of these systems being here together, is that we could put some outlets on some of these AC boxes or breaker panel boxes, that one, and this one, we can put a breaker on the side or an outlet on the side of it, and we can share power between them. And also charge up our Bluetti Apex 300 if we need to. And like I said earlier over in the barn, we can maybe put a shop light in here and heat this space. So maybe Jen, real quick, will check the temperature in here before we start this day. The temperatures have been in the low 20s. Hasn't got real cold yet, but later.
Teens at night.
Yeah, I guess it was barely. Hi, buddy. You just like this bunker for some reason, or you like the dads at your level. Yeah, or you like the dads at your level. So
He wants to go inside the bunker.
it's been like 20 degrees at night.
It was 17 yesterday morning.
Just tell me what the temperature of the bunker is, for crying out loud.
Update,
Stop arguing with me for zero reason. It has not been cold out at night. It's been 20 degrees, give or take a couple degrees.
39 degrees.
So guys, it's still 39 degrees in the bunker. Hopefully, like I said earlier, the ground getting more frost in it and these batteries sitting and not having any sunshine, hopefully we don't lose that little bit of extra temperature that we're getting, or that the bunker is holding in here. I do have the big battery on now. Big battery says 4 degrees Celsius. These two Vaders down here say 46 degrees. So 4 degrees Celsius is what, like 36? That's what we determined. 8 plus 28, yeah, so 36. So that is reading the temperature over here. Over here says 43. I think the eco-worthy battery as well has a Celsius reading. It says 7 degrees Celsius. So these batteries are staying above freezing. We do need to, get a few more little holes plugged up. But let's get an outlet. Let's get this system's been running to produce a little bit of heat in here. Again, it's not feeding the mini cabin. Hasn't been for the last month or so. We haven't really used it. Let's get an outlet off of this box and get this hooked up to this box so we can use this for a little bit of a heating source. And for charging our Bluetti, since we don't have solar hooked up to it right now. It's been sitting here as is 59%, just using it for lights. It's slowly crawled down from 70% to like 59%. So it's doing good. A lot of capacity on it. And we're actually going to add a little more capacity to it here shortly later today. So let's get rolling.
What are you doing? Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Come get him, Scout. Get him. Oh. What are you guys doing, huh? Look at this. You guys are ridiculous. Is he getting you? Oh my goodness.
Alright guys, so I forgot, I had these wires marked with ground, neutral, and power up here, but I didn't mark them on this end. So I'm just doing a continuity test. If you set your multimeter to continuity, you can grab a wire, touch the probe to one end, and then touch it to this wire, and then touch it to those three and see which one it is. So this is Get the beep. This is neutral. All right, guys, made a little progress here. Sorry I'm not taking you along with me the entire way, but this is kind of tedious and electrical stuff, which me not being qualified electrician or licensed electrician, I'm not allowed to show you. So just we installed this 30 amp TT30 outlet for like campers, the more popular smaller camper outlet right here. So there's that, upside down. There you go. So what that's going to do is allow us to use this system as a backup and run it through our transfer switch. It's also going to allow us to use this in here, and we could turn it into a 15 amp plug if we need to charge the Bluetti. The only thing I need to do now is run my charging cable from here. I have it up above us, and then I need to put an outlet box on this breaker right here. I just bought little outlet boxes, and I could put an outlet. I could just put like a single outlet over here and then plug this into this system to charge this. I like redundancy. I like backup systems. I like to not have to worry about stuff. And considering not worried about stuff, one thing I never worry about is my Bluetti systems. All right, guys, today's video is sponsored by Bluetti. And as you know, we've been using Bluetti products here for many, many years. And one of my favorite things about Bluetti is that they listen to the consumer. People asked for more power. They want more storage and ready to go at an affordable price. And that's exactly what they did. Today, we're going to add to our system the new B500K. 5,120 watt hours of storage capacity and one battery. The B300K has 2,764 watt hours. The B500K has 5,120 watt hours. It's built on the same platform, but with a much higher storage capacity. And the best part is it's priced only slightly higher than the B300K. Bluetti's been using the same outlet port on their units to hook up to the B300s, the B300Ks, and now the B500K. This makes these new expansion batteries future-proof, so we don't have to worry about them becoming obsolete anytime soon. It can also be used as a massive battery pack on its own. We can run all of our DC devices using the Hub D1. This makes it great for using all our DC appliances or DC devices while camping or in an emergency situation. We can still charge our phones. We can run larger DC devices using the Anderson 50 amp plug on the top here. We can use all these cigarette ports or car ports. We have USB-A's and USB-C's. This is a very efficient way to use DC power without even needing AC power at all. And they've also redesigned the internal structures of this unit to make it more durable, last longer, and have less fragile parts. And that makes it safer. We all want to be safe. You're looking at close to 13,000 watt hours of storage capacity here. This could be multiple days up to a week of keeping our essential devices running at home. That is an epic system that can protect you during a grid down situation. Our refrigerator, lights. We don't want our food spoiling in the refrigerator. Some of us have medicines that have to stay cold. A system like this could keep you safe for an extended amount of time. So guys, check out the links in the description box below in the first pinned comment. Those are going to be the best deals. You can get yourself a B500K of your own. This is a brand new product. It's just now coming out on the market, so check out those links. Check out the product and be one of the first ones to get one. We all like a good deal. The B500K is going to give that to you. So thank you, Bluetti, for sponsoring this video and supporting this channel. Thank you guys for letting me tell you about the new B500K. Check it out at the links below in the description box. Now let's get back to the bunker build. Volts, 120 volts. So this is all done now, 100% done. This is done. Power going up to it, good. Here is our charging cable, so we could charge this with a generator. We could run this out the door to a small generator, or we could run this to this and charge it off of this system if we have extra juice here. If we have this system running on the generator and it wants to feed power to the batteries and then outgoing power to that, that's good. This is kind of streamlining things. And then, you know, if for some reason this system gets drawn down in the summer when we have guests, because it's 15,000 watt hours, if we're running the mini split a lot, I can just plug this in to that and suck power. Pretty cool, huh? Looking pretty fancy in here, huh? Boom, boom, boom. Let's put this back on. Look, I'm putting the screws into the panel of this. It's kind of asking for trouble, I think. You don't ever finalize anything because that just means you're going to have to rip it apart. So guys, tell me if you have enough experience. I'm curious about this. And I'd like some information. And see if this all-in-one inverter charger draws more power or consumes more power or energy when it's set up on split phase. Because now that I have this 100 amp box here, I could set this up on split phase and then only take single phase to the house. What that would do is if this is set up in split phase or 240 volt, we could charge with a 240 volt generator. It takes a long time for that generator we have to charge up all these batteries. Now the reason getting a bigger generator, it didn't make any sense initially, was because we're pushing like 30 amps of AC power, 3,600 watts of power into, or they're sucking that much power into these batteries. That was my max, and that was my cord. Diameter of my cord is 10 gauge, so that could only do 30 amps. But if we do a 240 volt, I can switch this cord out, still have 10 gauge or maybe 8 gauge, and I can pump a lot more power into these batteries because it distributes all the amps evenly through these batteries pretty much. They only draw like 5 to 10 amps, if that, through these thick cables. But if I could put 240 volt, I could keep the amperage down because we doubled the voltage, and then I could get a bigger generator. Never did I think we'd have a system this big that I would have to charge with a bigger generator. I don't mind charging at a slower rate with that generator. That's an open frame inverter generator. It's a little louder than I would like compared to the closed frames, but it's just a little bit louder. And, I don't know. Bigger generators, especially the inverter ones, are expensive. They're like $2-3 grand. So anyway, let me know if these inverters draw more power in idle or just running if we're in split phase. And let me know if, I should be able to charge with twice the power being on 240 volt. Maybe not 13,000 watts, but maybe 9,000 watts instead of 3,500. I don't want to double the consumption of this just so I can charge faster. That's where I'm going. I don't want this to suck down 150 watts just because I put it in split phase or 240 volt, just for the little bit of time I would save charging. So let me know. I'll maybe send a message to SunGold and ask them, but I'm thinking that this draws the same amount of power or consumes the same amount of power regardless of which mode you're in. But anyway. Alright guys, now we got our outlet right here. 20 amp one nonetheless. We got 10 gauge wire, so we can do 10 amp, or 20 amp I mean. This is back on. It says 120 volt means the inverter just turned on. There we go. So this is on, this is off. So we turn this on. We should have power at our outlet now. Here we go. 120 volts. All right, we're good. Put the panel back on. Do you want to test this?
I want to test it.
So before I plug in that AC in, I need to make sure that we have it set correctly. Because this could draw up to 40 amps. And we don't want it drawing that much.
He's looking in a manual and he's letting me record this. If he puts in the video, that's a different story, but
This isn't like building a bed frame from IKEA.
I know. I'm just surprised.
There's a lot of settings. And although most of it I think is like safeguarded, we still need to amp. I want to enter. I want to take that down to 15. Now that might be 15 amps at 50 volts, 48 volt. So we might only get 700 watts, but we could slow charge that, which is better for it anyway. Or we could double that to 30 amps, and that would be, closer to the proper voltage, 15 amps of 120 volt AC. Setting 28. So we should be able to plug this in. Alright, it beeped.
So it's
So
plugged
it's
in.
recognizing AC current.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's set for the AC chart for the AC current to take the load or to charge the battery. So we'll give it a minute here. This might be something we figure out tomorrow because our battery's dying and it's getting late and cold. It's not getting late, but so far it doesn't say anything with charging. So kept thinking that because this one was set up to charge on a 115 on this cord. This one was not, because I haven't done that with this one yet. It might be a 2-second thing. Charging mode, PV, mains. Hybrid charging, PV and mains. Alright guys, we're cold. Even though it's
38 in here.
38 in here.
It's like 20 outside, so it's like a warm up in here.
Yeah. Doesn't feel warm.
But it is. If you go outside, it's like freezing. I was outside filming and my fingers like turned bright red.
Yeah. So I finally got my couple little outlet boxes installed that I've been wanting to do for like a few weeks. So now we could do gen stuff. Even though we've been doing, not gen stuff, but we could do other stuff. But
Get back to work on the greenhouse.
yeah, we're going to work on the greenhouse for a few hours tomorrow. Hope we get some sunshine. Would be nice to do some projects, but
It was out for like 20 minutes today. I captured it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was in the bunker. So, alright guys, check this out. So, this is a lot going on. But, this system, we disconnected the Bluetti from the transfer switch. The cabin is now running on our main system again. We had a secondary breaker now to come over here so we could charge our mini cabin system if we need to with this cord. Just like slow charging, but we're doing 15 amps into the battery right now. We also have 2 breakers here from this system. One's feeding the mini cabin, which we don't have on because we're not using it. But I have this secondary 30 amp breaker feeding this box. So we could use this with this 15 amp adapter plug or the TT30. What this is going to do is allow us to either run it through our transfer switch if this system's ever dead or something breaks, heaven forbid. We could run on this system through the transfer switch. If we want to charge anything or use this system for anything, we have an outlet now. We could charge the Bluetti if we need to because we don't have solar hooked up to it. Nice. Ultimately, it would be nice to hook like a couple 100 watts to it just so it could stay up. We don't know what we're doing with this system yet, but now we have 2 mega systems and we have versatility. And we, like I said, we have this outlet here so we could run anything in here. We could take the Bluetti. We could take the Apex 300 and the new B500K and the B300Ks. We could use that in the cabin, up in the loft or something. Or we could use it camping. Or we could use it, you know, for home backup power anywhere else. So maybe it won't, you know, have its life in the bunker now. Now it could be more portable. But now we could charge things and move energy from one place to another, no problem.
That's pretty good.
And
Good
it's
job, sir.
very, very versatile. And I think I got everything done that I wanted to get done. Other than put some more breakers on these positive lines for the
That's what you want me
batteries.
to order, right? On
yeah,
Amazon?
we tried to order the breakers. You could do T-class fuses. We could put these T-class fuses between each line, which would be a good way to protect it from the outgoing, you know, power from each battery bank, from each independent battery. But I would like to have a switch so we could turn them all on and off here too. Now most of them have a breaker on them. I don't know why that isn't sufficient. I mean, the Ruxus don't, and this one Sungold do not. The rest of them all have breakers. But I would like to have a switch that I could turn off. If I put T-class fuses in there, it'd be the same price. And it'd be protected, but I wouldn't be able to turn them off individually. So that's why we're trying to get the breakers, and they only had 1 in stock. And we need 9 of them. So anyway, is what it is. We'll figure it out. They're $30 a piece too, so they're not cheap, but they're not, I mean, it's worth being safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're going to go inside. I've been out here all day, freezing.
Cabin's a sauna cabin.
Yeah, it took a little longer than I thought it would to do that, but I was taking my time and wrapping everything up nice, putting everything in conduit so it's clean looking and protected. So we're going to shut this system down. Doesn't need to charge the mini cabin right now, and I don't like to leave things unattended. So, but it's charging. Now we have that versatility and backups to backups. So, you ready to go inside?
Uh-huh.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us during this video, guys. We appreciate you. Hopefully we can put a little bit of pretty stuff in here for you and make this...
Some birds and some snow.
Yeah, make it somewhat interesting.
Literally living in a snow globe lately, guys. I don't think it has stopped snowing for like 4 days.
Yeah.
It's just snowing every day.
Inch or two here every day. So, but thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Best wishes.
Bye-bye.